Hi, Alex here, and in this video I'll be showing how to add diffusion material to the Guy Man Sidebars. So basically I'm just showing how to cut the material, which is actually magic eraser, and stuff it into the sidebars. I know I mentioned using this trick in a video, like 2 years ago? It's linked in the description below if you're curious, but this is an in-depth explanation of how that's done. So let's get started. For this tutorial, you will need the sidebars that we glued together in the previous step, and there's a link in the description showing how to do that. So you'll need those, and you will also need some magic erasers for the diffusion material. 3 or 4 should be enough. I'm using cheap ones that I sourced online instead of brand name ones. Make sure you get the ones that are plain white color and don't have like a blue scrubby bit on it or anything like that. Make sure they're all one solid color. You'll need a sharp, long kitchen knife, and the flatter the blade, the better. You'll need some scissors, preferably with pretty long blades. In addition, you'll need a little bit of super glue, and this will hold the diffusion material in place. Lastly, I recommend wearing some gloves, as super glue is excellent at gluing fingers together, so I'd recommend wearing gloves to prevent that from happening. I'm not doing that because I kind of misplaced my gloves when I was filming this tutorial. First, we're going to go ahead and slice the magic erasers into large flat sheets. I'm going to slice them the hard way, making the biggest pieces as possible. If your magic erasers are big enough, you can slice them off of the end instead of off of the front, but because my magic erasers are kind of small, I'm going to have to slice them the hard way. And this is where the knife comes in. So the trick is to slice about 1/8 of an inch uniform sheet of the eraser. Any thicker and it starts to block too much light, and any thinner it doesn't diffuse enough light. So here I am slicing the eraser as uniformly as possible. And whoops, I messed up on camera. It's kind of tricky to get a sheet of even thickness. It takes a little bit of practice to get the feel for it. I repeated this process maybe 6-7 times to, get the hang of it before I was able to slice sheets that are 100% the same. Luckily, I prepared some earlier, and all of these are of a pretty uniform thickness. Now I'm going to cut the magic erasers down to size so they fit into the sidebars. Using scissors, I'm going to trim away the eraser bit by bit to get a piece that is just the right size. It takes a couple of iterations of cutting and measuring to get it just right. You want to cut down the pieces so they fit inside the plastic housings instead of on top of them. And there we go, this piece is just the right size. So basically repeat this process 15 more times to make a total of 16 pieces of diffusion material. Keep in mind that there are 2 types of sidebar pieces, slightly bigger ones and slightly smaller ones. So make sure you don't cut all the diffusion material to exactly the same size because they won't fit in 4 of the 16 pieces. Now we're going to glue these precisely cut foam pieces into the sidebars. Apply super glue to the sides of each piece and only put a little bit of super glue. If you put too much, the super glue tends to soak into the foam and make it kind of unevenly diffused. With the super glue applied, carefully place the foam into the sidebars. You want the foam to be tucked right underneath the edge of the plastic. A little bit of foam can poke out, but try to keep most of it inside the plastic. And you want to do the same for the rest of the foam pieces. After letting the super glue cure, and it takes a couple of hours for the smell to completely dissipate, this is the final result. All the foam pieces are neatly glued into the sidebars, and we are ready for the next step, which is going to be mounting the LEDs into the for this video. I hope you found that useful.
Video.
The best material, again, I've found so far is this magic eraser. It is kind of tricky to cut, so you have to be careful when cutting it. Yeah, I know somebody a while ago emailed me and told me they used like a latex glove stretched over the sidebars. I didn't try that, but maybe if you don't want to use magic eraser, you could try that trick. Just taking like a white latex glove, stretching it over, each sidebar. It sounds like a lot more work, but I mean, if you don't want to use magic eraser, you can try that instead. Yeah. So in the next video, I'll be showing how I'm gonna glue the sidebar pieces, the LED pieces into this. And yeah, so that'll be posted maybe next week, maybe the week after that. I still have to make that video. So that's it for now, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.